Hi all, welcome to the fourth lecture on mechanics of machinery. In the last lecture, I explained about the kinematic pairs, different types of constraint motion and everything. In this lecture, we will look more into the kinematic chain, joints and everything. What are the types of pairs and everything. So first let's start with the joints. So, what is the basic definition of a joint? A joint is a movable connection between links and allows relative motion between the links. Here is one of the example of a joint. This is a sliding joint. From the figure itself, you can see that the link 2 can slide inside the link 1. So, it is a example of sliding joint, which is one type of joint. This is a pin or hinge joint, that is the link 1 can revolve. Only it can revolve, there is no sliding motion is possible, only the link 1 can revolve with respect to link 2. So, this is a pin or hinge joint. This is a cam joint, maybe you are familiar with this type of joint, and this is a gear joint, you are familiar with these types of joints. Okay. So, this is the basic definition of a joint. A joint is a mobile connection between links and allows relative motion between the links. Basically a connection as well as that joint allows the relative motion, because without relative motion it is of no use in kinematics. So, a joint is the one which connect as well as this allows the relative motion between the links, and these are the types of joint like sliding, pin joint, cam joint, gear joint, etc. We will look into more details in the coming slides. So, the types of joints. First one is the binary joints. It's a very simple thing. You can see that at the point A, it's a binary joint. Point A is actually a binary joint because the link 1 and 4 are joined at the point A. Similarly, at point D, 4 and 3 are joined. Similarly, at point C, 3 and 2 are joined, and similarly at point B, 2 and 1 are joined. So, at every joint there are only 2 links. So, it is the binary joint. Second one is the ternary joints. That is, you just look at the point C. Point C. You can see that the link 2, 3 and 5 are joined. That is, 3 links are joined, and so it is the ternary joint. Similar is the case with point E also. 4, 5 and 6 are joined. And the last one is the quaternary joint. Look at the point G. At G, 11, 10, 8 and 7 are joined. The links 7, 8, 10 and 11 are joined. So, G is a quaternary joint. If you look at the point F, only 3 links are joined. If you look at the point D, only 2 links are joined. So, at the point G, 4 links are joined. So, it is a quaternary joint. Okay, this is somewhat easy thing only, so I don't want to explain much in detail. And next one is the most important thing in kinematics of machinery or kinematics: lower pair and higher pair. What is a lower pair and what is a higher pair? See, in the first figure, in this figure you can see that there is a sliding joint. This is a sliding joint. And also the contact is surface contact. The link 2 has a surface contact with the link 1. This is the lower pair. So, you look at the definition. When the 2 elements of the pair have a surface contact when relative motion takes place, and surface of the one element slides over the surface of the other, the pair is known as lower pair. That is basically simply saying surface contact. The 2 links or 2 elements is having a surface contact when relative motion is taking place, then it is called as lower pair. This one is the perfect example for it. Then the definition of the higher pair means when the 2 elements or the 2 links have line or point contact when relative motion is taking place, then it is called as higher pair. Gear is a perfect example of a higher pair. Cam joint, cam moment, that is another perfect example of higher pair. Okay, so even in the gear you may confuse that there is a surface contact between the teeth. Actually it is not the case. Gear, the teeth is in the form of an involute profile. So actually there is no surface contact, some line contact is there. So gear is an example of higher pair. Cam joint is an cam like a movement is an example of higher pair, and more higher pairs we will discuss in the coming slides. So this is the difference between a lower pair and higher pair. In lower pair there is a surface contact, whereas in higher pair there is a line contact or point contact. Because this is very important from this subject point of view, this lower pair and higher pair, you need to have a clear differentiation between a lower pair and higher pair. Lower pair means a surface contact and higher pair means a line or point contact. Now we will look into the different types of lower pairs. In kinematics of machinery, there are 6 lower pairs. There are 6 defined lower pairs. First one, it is a revolute pair. This can only revolve. There is a surface contact and at the same time it can only revolve. Since a collar, see, look at this, a collar is provided at this point, and because of this collar it can't have a sliding motion, it can only revolve. This is the first lower pair, revolute pairs. This is having a surface contact as well as it can only revolve. Second one is a prismatic pair. This can only slide. The directions, I indicated the direction also, this can only slide in the z axis, in the vertical direction, sorry, in the vertical direction. Because of this slot is provided, can only slide, so this is a prismatic pair. Third one is a screw pair. It can rotate as well as it can slide, similar to a screw joint. It can, when we tighten the screw, it will rotate, at the same time it will move in the vertical direction also. So it's a screw pair. Fourth one is a cylindrical pair. Here no collar is provided. In the last in this case a collar is provided, so the sliding motion is arrested, whereas in this case the collar is not provided, so it can rotate as well as it can slide. This is a cylindrical pair, and this is a spherical pair or spear. See, you may confuse with this figure, that is why I included this figure also. In the spherical pair, it can rotate in 3 axes, like in x axis, y axis and z axis, it can rotate in 3 axes. This is the spherical pair. And last one is the flat pair. If you look at this figure, you can see that this can rotate as well as the base can slide in x direction as well as in y direction. This is the flat pair. These are the 6 type of roller pairs. In all the pairs, see, if you look at all the pairs, you can see that there is a surface contact, and at the same time in all the 6 pairs there is a surface contact, and at the same time the ways in which can rotate I also mentioned in the figure. Okay, so these are the 6 lower pairs. Now all the other pairs you encounter in the engineering practice comes under the higher pairs. Higher pair means all the other joint types are called higher pairs. Examples include mating teeth, a wheel rolling or sliding on a rail, a ball rolling on a flat surface, cam connecting its follower. These are all the examples. Here it's having a point contact. Here in the case of gear, this is the example of a cam joint. This is the example of a gear joint where it is having a line contact. Here also one point contact, here also one point contact. So these are all the examples of higher pairs. Other than the 6 lower pairs which I mentioned in the previous slides, all the other pairs which you encounter in your engineering practice comes under higher pairs. I need to introduce one more thing also, wrapping pairs. It is quite out of syllabus, it is not included in your syllabus, but for your understanding I am including this thing also, wrapping or higher pairs. In the last lecture I just explained about this thing, belt, rope or chain drives. These are all called wrapping pairs because it functions only when it is under the action of a tensile forces. If it is compressive in nature, then the belt drive or the rope drive or the chain drive doesn't have any function. It functions only in the presence of a tensile forces. So, these are all called wrapping pairs, and this comes under the category of higher pairs. One of the links have only one way rigidity. Belt will be highly rigid only if it is under the action of a tensile force. If we put a compressive forces, then belt won't be a rigid body, it won't be a resistant body. Okay. So, these all comes under the wrapping pairs. Just to introduce this thing, I included this in the slide. It's quite out of syllabus, it is not included in your syllabus, but for your understanding I am including this thing. And next thing is the kinematic chain. What is a kinematic chain? See, you look at this animation. In this 4-bar animation, see in this animation, you can see that this link is connected to these 2 links. Similarly, the green link is connected to the other 2 links. The red link is connected to other 2 links. So, the kinematic chain means when several links are connected together by joints, they are said to form a kinematic chain. The joints may be binary joint, it can be ternary joint, it can be quaternary joint, that doesn't matter. But when the several links are connected together by joints, they are said to form a kinematic chain. And if every link in a chain is connected to at least 2 other links, then it is form a closed kinematic chain. This is a perfect example of that. Every link is connected to at least 2 other links. This link is connected to this one and this one. Similarly, the green link is connected to red link and this ash link. And this yellow link is connected to ash and red link. So, every link is connected to 2 other links. Such is the case of a closed kinematic chain. Okay. If it is not connected to at least 2 other links, then it is called as an open chain. Otherwise, it is called as a closed chain. Okay. So, this is the definition of the kinematic chain. When several links are connected together by joints, they are said to form a kinematic chain. See, this one is an example of a simple closed kinematic chain, because if the chain consists only of binary links, then it is called as a simple chain, simple closed chain. Even you can use the word simple chain also. Whereas, if it consists of ternary or quaternary links or other than binary links, then it forms a compound chain, compound closed chain. Okay. From the figure itself you can understand, I think. So, I do not need to explain much. So, first you need to know what a chain is, and then simple chain and compound chain, simple closed chain and compound closed chain. Now, there is a relation between the number of pairs and number of links to determine whether it is a kinematic chain or not. If we have a mechanism, or if we have some arrangement of links, then we need to determine whether it is a kinematic chain or not. In order to determine that, 2 relations are available. One relation connects the number of pairs and number of links, which is this one. L is equal to 2p minus of 4. L is the number of links, p is the pairs. So, L is equal to 2p minus of 4. If this equation is satisfied, then it forms a kinematic chain. Similarly, one more equation is available which connects number of links and number of joints. J is equal to 3 by 2 L minus of 2. If this equation is also satisfied, then it forms a kinematic chain. These equations are applicable only to kinematic chain in which lower pairs are used. This can also be used, this equation can also be used if higher pairs are used, but in such cases, one single higher pair is counted as equivalent to 2 lower pairs. If one higher pair is there, then P is equal to 2 in that case, because one higher pair is equivalent to 2 lower pairs. Okay. Now, let us look into some practical examples. Now, look into how this equation is applied. to determine whether it is a kinematic chain or not. See, take this as an example. How many links? Actually, we are forming an equation between number of links, number of pairs and number of joins. So, once you got an arrangement, you need to determine how many links are there, how many pairs are there and how many joins are there. If you look at this figure, how many links are there? 3. Link 1, link 2 and link 3. Now, how many joins are there? And how many pairs are there? That also 3. Link 1 and link 3 forms a pair. Link 3 and link 2 forms a pair and link 1 and link 2 forms a pair. So, number of pairs is equal to 3 and number of joins is also 3. A, B and C, 3 joins. Now, let us apply the equations. L is equal to 2p minus 4 and J is equal to 3 by 2 L minus of 2. Both the equations are not satisfied. LHS is greater than RHS. So, this arrangement doesn't form a kinematic chain. Since the arrangement of these 3 links does not satisfy the equation, therefore, it is not a kinematic chain and hence no relative motion is possible. Even if you look at this figure, you can see that if you apply a load at the point C, imagine you are applying a load at the point C, there won't be any movement. So, it is not a mechanism. So, there is no relative motion is possible and such type of chain is called as locked chain, or this is actually a form of a structure. We mentioned in the first class, this is actually a form of a structure. So, now you are familiar how to apply these equations and to determine whether it is a kinematic chain or not. Now, let us look into one more example. How many links are there, how many joins are there, how many pairs are there, you just identify. L is equal to 4, P is equal to 4 and J is equal to 4. Link 1, link 2, link 3, link 4. So, number of links 4, number of joins A, B, C and D 4 joins and number of pairs 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 1. So, L is equal to, P is equal to, J is equal to 4. Now, when we apply these things into our equations, LHS is equal to RHS and LHS is equal to RHS in both the equations. So, this actually constitute a kinematic chain. This is a kinematic chain of 1 degree of freedom and the relative motion is completely constrained. Hence, it is called as a constrained kinematic chain. This is the basis of all machines. The relative motion is completely constrained means the motion of all the links 4, 3, 2 all the links are completely constrained, can move only in one way. So, it is called as a constrained kinematic chain and this is the basis of almost all the machines. Now, let us look into one more example. How many links? 5. How many joins? Again 5, A, B, C, D and E. How many pairs? That is also 5. 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, 5 and 1. Okay. So, when we apply to the equations, LHS is greater than RHS, RHS is greater than LHS and RHS is greater than LHS in both the equations. So, this doesn't constitute a kinematic chain. Such type of chain is called as unconstrained chain, that is the relative motion is not completely constrained. If we apply the load at any point, say D, imagine we are applying a load at the point D, it can move in any direction. It is not completely restricted. So, it is an unconstrained chain and these types of chains are of little practical importance. Only if we have a very constrained motion, then only it will have some practical importance. This type of chain is of no practical use, no practical importance. Okay. And the last one is an exercise for you. You need to determine whether it is a kinematic chain or not. First, determine how many links, how many joins, how many pairs, apply in the equation and determine whether it is a kinematic chain or a not. That is up to you. You need to practice and you need to give me the answer during the online class. Okay. Hope you enjoy the session. Please go through the lecture. Thank you. I am Vipin Goban signing off.